Okay. Uh, s- so the agenda for the class for today is we will be calculating the reorder quantity. So some of this stuff I have already explained in the previous class. So I will also review or restart some of the contents which I have covered in the last class because Poonam for Poonam it is new. So hope Prashant you won't mind me repeating few stuff which we have already covered. Okay, Poonam, you have understanding on the calculation of standard deviation.
No,
So have you ever heard the term standard deviation?
no.
Okay. See, standard deviation is a measure of variability. Okay. So what is variability? Suppose the demand for a particular product in your company, a demand comes in the form of requisition. So requisition, when it came for the first time to you, so the demand was in the requisition was 20 units.
Okay.
When the second time you got a requisition for the same product in the next time, the demand was 10 units. The third time when the requisition came, the demand was 44 units. The fifth time the requisition when it came, the demand was for 5 units. The sixth time when it came, the requisition came, the demand was 100 units. And here the units means the number of parts or the number of pieces for the part, right? So, what is the demand? What is the demand? Suppose if you want to actually understand that what is the next time next time demand comes, because you have to speak to supplier and tell that what is your requirement for the next time.
Okay.
So, what is the benefit of telling supplier what will be demand for the next time? The benefit is supplier will keep the stock ready. The benefit is you can negotiate if the demand is of a larger quantity for getting discount from the supplier. The benefit is in case if the demand is less and you buy more, there is a there is an inventory pileup scenario will occur which you don't want. So there are three benefits. One is lead time. Supplier will keep the stock ready for you, the right amount.
Okay.
So that when the stock is ready, the supplier can ship you the material
Hmm.
is already in the stock. Or else supplier has the second option is if the supplier doesn't know, supplier will manufacture the product, then ship the product. But if supplier already know what could be the demand which will come from you, then supplier will keep the stock ready by manufacturing it. So the only lead time for supplier is the shipping time, not the manufacturing time. Right? Second op second
Hmm.
second benefit is cost savings. If you know that the demand is high, you can actually negotiate and ask for discount from supplier. Second benefit. So you will generate cost savings because you are negotiating and asking supplier for a discount when you are purchasing a bulk items. Third benefit, you can minimize the inventory because and how you can minimize the inventory. But if you know that the demand is not very high, so you will purchase less items for that particular product or the lesser units for that particular product. When you're purchasing lesser units for that particular product, you are saving the money for your company because the demand was not so high from your operations team, and based upon the requirement from your operations team, you actually purchased the same quantity. You have not purchased a higher quantity, right? The other next benefit is you're not actually creating delay for your customers. How? If you buy the right number of items, means you're not creating a scenario of stock out. You're not creating a scenario of stock out. The first scenario was overstock when you're piling up inventory. Now this scenario is you're avoiding stock out because you know the demand is high, and when the demand is high, so you'll buy products in larger units, not in the lesser units. When you buy, if you buy in lesser units and demand is very high, and that is called stock out scenario. When there is stock out, we cannot produce a product for the customer, and there is a delay for the customers whom we are actually shipping the product, or for the demand which for the order they have given to us. So there's so many benefits. For achieving this so many benefits, we need to have a right prediction. For achieving right prediction, we need to minimize the variability in the demand. So before starting the class, I have given some numbers, requisition numbers, which you got, and every time the requisition was a different number. Every time the requisition was a different number. So when you find a scenario when every time the requisition is a different number, then that is called variable requisition or variable demand. Got it? So that is called variable
Okay.
demand. So when is very so how do you assess the next demand coming from the requisition? What is the benefit? What is the benefit of assessing this demand in beforehand, before you are getting a requisition from the user? What is the benefit of predicting this demand before the user gives you the requisition form with the demand, right? So that is what the question is. What is the benefit? How can we actually achieve a benefit by predicting the next demand coming from the user in the form of requisition? So as of now, the purchasing guys, what they do is they get the form, then they process. So what I'm actually uh, asking is, before you get the requisition, why can't you predict it, right? Why can't you predict the next requisition when it will going to come? So what happens right now in the market is they do follow the reorder point. Everybody follows a reorder point. If something touches the reorder point, then we actually give the order. If when a particular item touches its reorder point, then only the demand is generated, right? So this reorder point is one mark in business is actually is a forecast, it's a prediction. It's based upon time. It's based upon time and based upon each and every demand. Okay, so let me give an example. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Suppose demand for the first requisition one. I'll write R1. Okay. Let me know if my voice is not clear. Let me know. So requisition one. Okay, you got a demand of 20 units. I will say drag it down. Next is requisition two, 30. Press play. 25, work play. 29, work play. 24, okay. 32, and 37. Okay. Then 30. So this is the first demand. I am giving the first scenario. Okay, scenario number one. Now I will take you to scenario number two. Here the first demand is 20, second demand is 65, 64, third demand is 39, fourth demand is 45, fifth demand is 39, sixth demand is 52, sixth demand is 10, seventh demand is 140. So if I ask you, Poonam and Ramesh, what will be the demand for the ninth time in the first scenario and the second scenario? Can you just tell me just by looking at the numbers? By looking at the number, I'm not asking you to calculate. If you want to calculate from your side, it's well and good. But if you are not calculating, even then you can ask. Even then you can predict it. So in the first case, the first question is, let me ask you the first question. For which particular scenario, it is easier to predict the next demand? Yes, Prashant and Poonam, can you just tell me? There are two scenarios. Which particular scenario is easier to predict the next demand? That's the first question. What is the demand? I'll ask the second question. But the first question is, which is the easier scenario? Demand one or demand two? So no answers.
Mm,
See, we're not expecting that you will give accurate answer. I have, understand those elements that it is difficult to answer accurately. But what I want to encourage you guys is, uh, give a try, and give a try, and also try to put some reason why we are saying that, why we are saying. Okay, so try to discover the reasons, and give an answer. Give a try. Let it be wrong. Don't worry about the consequences. Let it be wrong. What I want to encourage is, take a reason and answer. That will build your confidence.
Demand two.
Pardon?
Hello. Demand two.
Demand two is easier to predict.
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah.
Why?
First it got increased, then decreased, and increased and decreased like that.
Okay, so you are saying,
Quantity got more.
okay, so let's good, very good. You have attempted, you are trying to attempt. That's very good. So Poonam is saying that demand two is easier to predict because there are up and downs. There are more up and downs in the demand. Hmm? So, okay, Prashant, you have any answer?
Another one is
Prashant, are you there? కనెక్షన్ పోయిందా? రెడ్ వచ్చింది అప్పుడు. ఏంట్రా ఈ కనెక్షన్ కూడా బాగా ఇబ్బంది పడుతుంది. రెడ్ వచ్చింది కదా? ఆ రెడ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ గ్రీన్ అయిందా? నెక్స్ట్ చెప్పాను జియో. ఇక్కడ జియో లేదండి, అక్కడ ఉందా? హలో.
Yeah. Hello.
ఓకే. సో ప్రశాంత్, ఎనీ ఆన్సర్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ సైడ్? Okay, so what I'm asking, Prashant, I'm not asking. We'll go to the numbers in next. So what I'm asking is that we have two demand numbers, demand one and demand two. Which particular scenario, or which one is more easier to predict? And why? Why it is easier to predict? Okay, great. So as per Prashant, demand one is easier to predict because demand one is having lesser variations. So Poonam, what do you think? What do you think? Uh, whether you are right or Prashant is right? Yes, Prashant. Poonam, Poonam, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. So Prashant is telling his demand one scenario is easier to predict because demand one is having lesser variations. Lesser variation means lesser up and downs. And you are saying that demand two is easier to predict because it is having more up and downs or more variations. So what do you think? Is you are right or are you there, Poonam? Poonam, are you there? Okay. So what do you say? You are right or Prashant is right? Who is right? Okay. So what? So increase two times and demand two. So if you think after R5 it has increased two times, 32, 37, 30. So but in demand two.
So, so R9 may get increase or decrease. So how can we predict?
Mhm. Now my question is not how can you predict. My question is which is easier to predict. My question is which is easier to. We'll go to that point. What you are asking me. The first question is which is easier to predict and why. So as per you, demand two is easier to predict
Yeah.
because there are more up and downs.
Hmm.
So if there is a more up and downs, can you uh, can you predict accurately because there is more up and downs? What will happen next? It will be up or it will be down.
It may be down, but quantity cannot predict.
Yeah, we cannot be predict. We cannot predict, right? If there is, if it is up,
Hmm.
there are more up and downs. So prediction is a difficult task.
Okay.
What will happen next? Question is what will happen next? Suppose if I say, so I ask you, what will happen next in the case of R? Poonam, what could be the demand of R9 in the first in demand one scenario? Poonam, Poonam.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So my question is to you is, uh, what could be the demand on the R9 scenario?
It may decrease by 5 units.
Okay, 5 units. So I'll say 25. Okay. Okay. Now tell me what will be the demand for R9 in demand two scenario? Look at the numbers and tell. Can you make a guess?
No.
Just tell me one number. You can make a guess. Just one guess I require from you. I will not ask why, and don't worry, I will not ask why you made that guess. Okay? Come on, one number. I'm asking just one number. Poonam, okay, like seems like Poonam is not interested to hear the number. So let's go to Prashant. Prashant, can you make prediction? Demand one, what could be the number? And demand two, what could be the next number or next demand? Meanwhile, Poonam, you have a chance. You have a chance to uh, tell you a number.
I'm just guessing. Huh?
Okay. Yeah.
123, 127. Sorry.
127. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Prashant, are you there? Yes. Can you do the predictions for demand one and demand two? What would be the next demand? Yeah. Okay. Prashant is telling 27, and for demand two, Prashant, what will be the number? 69. Okay. So okay. So I want to ask what basis this predictions is made. Okay. Now I'll just take the number what Poonam has told and what Prashant has told. I'll just take the numbers and I'll put into the graph. Okay. Prediction by Poonam. So let's study what should be the right prediction. So we'll study that. Okay. So we might be average is a very general term, which is we apply average daily in our personal life as well as in business. We apply average more in the business. So if you look at I'll tell you a very simple scenario which we all have encountered many times during our school days or college days. We get our certificate of pass or fail from school. In that we will have five subjects. Okay, so five subjects. I'll take five subjects is mathematics, science, Sanskrit, or English and Hindi. Okay. Mathematics, the maximum numbers the person can score is 50. Out of 50, mathematics 35, Sanskrit 45, Sanskrit 50, English 50, Hindi 33. Okay. So what is the total sum of this? Sum of the total scoring? 230. What is the maximum number? Is 50. What is the total number? 250. Okay. So what is the percentage scored? 213 divided by 250. That is 85%. And what is the average score? 213 divided by 5. 42.6. So what is the meaning of this? If you're saying that we have scored 42.6 as an average score, what is the meaning of this? This means per subject, my score was 42.6 out of 50. Am I right? What is the meaning of average? Means my per subject, my score was 42.6. Poonam, am I right?
Yeah.
So if I say that my score is my average score is 42.6. So this means my per subject my score is 42.6, right? But if you look at mathematics, I scored 35, but my average score what I'm saying is 42.6. Okay, I say Sanskrit 45, but my average score is 42.6. Means I'm scoring less than 45. In the mathematics, I'm scoring more than 35. Sanskrit, I scored 50 out of 50, but my average score is 42.6. So I'm scoring, my average is telling that I'm scoring less than 50 in Sanskrit. English, my score is 50. I scored 50, but my average score is 42.6. So I'm scoring less than 50. Hindi, I scored 33. I have just, I think I'm failed, right? 30 is failed, 30 is possible, 17 is failed. So 33. But I see what I'm saying is I'm scoring more than 33, 42.6. So if you look at this, some of the numbers, some of the subjects I scored less, but my average is telling I'm scoring more. Some of the subjects where I'm scoring more, but my average is telling that I'm scoring less, right? So this is a skewed. This is very skewed. Average never represent. Average never represent a right determination of the score. Average occasionally determines. Average occasionally determines. That too when all the numbers are very close to each other. What is the meaning of all the numbers are closing to each other? So let me take, this is the student 1 score. I'll take a student 2 score. So he has scored here in the first scenario 40 in the mathematics. Second, he has scored 41. Third, he scored 41.5. In the fourth English subject, he has scored 42. In the Hindi, he has again scored 41. And if I find the average score of all the 5 subjects, I'm getting around 41.1. And if you see, 40 is close to 41.1. 41 is close to 41.1. 41.5 is close to 41.1. 42 is close to 41.1. 41 is close to 41.1, right? But this first student who has scored 42.6, but if you look at his scores are very far from the average. The first mathematics he has scored 35, but the average score is 42.6. Hello, are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm trying to understand, what you're telling is, if average is a right, can be a right representation, or cannot be, maybe a right representation, may not be a right representation. That all depends upon the data. If data is very close to each other, all the numbers are very close to each other, then average works perfect. When all the numbers are not close to each other, then average doesn't work perfect. You can see the example here. In the first scenario, 42.6. But you look at the numbers, all the numbers are not close to 42.6. In the second scenario, you see 41.1. All the numbers are very close to 41.1, right? So you have to see, first you have to see the numbers. If the numbers are very close to each other, average will work perfect. Means if the next demand, what is the next demand? On the R9 case, what is the next demand? In the R9 case, what is the next demand? The next demand you can directly predict by using an average. You can only use the average if the numbers are very close to each other. What is the meaning of numbers are very close to each other? Numbers, the trend. If you draw a trend graph or a line graph, if you draw a line graph, so you will not see up and downs. Up and downs is uncertainty. If you have more up and downs, data has more uncertainty. If it has more uncertainty, then average is not the right metric to do the prediction. Okay, so what I'm saying, more up and downs, up downs, up and downs on the numbers in the data set, then lesser is the predictability and lesser is the certainty. And average won't work in such scenario. Okay, so if I take an average, so is it clear, Puno? हेलो सुनो,
Yeah, yeah,
अभी समझ में अभी क्लियर है ना? जितना अप एंड डाउन हो,
yeah.
मोर अप एंड डाउन, लेसर इज
Hmm.
प्रिडिक्टेबिलिटी. ठीक है,
Okay. Hmm.
कैसे हैंडल करना है डाटा को, विल आल्सो कैसे प्रिडिक्ट करना है, विल आल्सो सी दैट. ओके, फर्स्ट मैं क्या करूंगा, लेट मी फर्स्ट फाइंड आउट एवरेज. सो सो एवरेज ऑफ द फर्स्ट डाटा सेट, फॉर्मूला क्या है? यू कैन गो टू एक्सेल and write the formula called average. Okay, and you can select the data for which you want to take the average. Okay, that's a formula. Here you see it is coming 27.9. Okay, same thing, I'll take the average, C12, C12 is now C12, this is up to C10. So I'll take the same for demand 2 also, and here it is see 51.125. Okay, So what I will do? So my prediction is how much? 28.375. My prediction is 28.375. So what I'm saying is demand can, if we are predicting 28, this is only a prediction. 28.375 is only prediction. But demand can be 20, demand can be 30, demand can be 25, it can be 29, 24, 32, 37, 30, 25, 27, or it can be another number also, right? So if demand is 28.375 by when we go by the calculations by average, so how much chances will be there? How much how much chances of error will be there? Because it's only a prediction. This is only a prediction, right? So there will be chances of an error. So how do you find? How do you find that how much error will be there? So when you are doing calculations, right, Poonam or Prashant, whenever you do calculation, what will be the future demand, a future prediction, right? So you need to also when you do the forecast, every forecast will have an error. No forecast, it's very rare chances where a forecast will have accuracy and accuracy. So we need to understand how much error will be there in the prediction. Okay. So that particular thing we need to calculate by measuring the demand of first R1 minus the prediction, that is 28.375. So what is the error here? 20 minus 28.375, that is minus 8.375. Similarly, I'll drag the formula. Sorry, to see. So when in Excel, when you're taking the fixed number can be locked by using F4. I select this number and click F4, this number will be locked. So the symbol of locking is dollar. Dollar before the letter and dollar before the number. Okay, this is the way we can lock it. So what is locking? So if you look at, if I drag this formula, again if you see C4 minus C13. If you, in the previous case, C3 minus C13. In the next case, it is C4 minus C13. So C4 is not locked, but C13 is locked. So we are trying to subtract the number from C4 to the C13, which average. So like this, we have to drag this number like this. Okay. So what is the total sum of the error? If I take the average as a prediction, so what is total error? What is the definition of error here, Poonam?
More the difference, then more.
Correct. So we are trying to this is up and down. The difference is error is up and down. Okay. Difference is up and down.
Okay.
Okay. So here it was up. It was down by minus 8.375. In the second case, it is up by 1.625. In the third case, it is down by minus 3.375. In the fourth case, it is up by 0.625. So this is up and down. We are trying to measure the up and downs, and this up and downs is measured by using the form by. We're trying to measure the prediction. Prediction by the side subtract the number by the prediction, right? So this is the up and down. How much up? How much down from the average? How much up? How much down from the average? Okay. All this point you guys have to note down. Also, I'll note down here. See, I will just convert this into a chart also. You can see the up and downs in the chart. So whenever this is useful whenever you're doing predictions. Whenever you do predictions, you need to understand how much up and down is there. If there is an up and down, if you take a decision by taking an average, you will you will be proven wrong. So Poonam, you apply this when you do calculations. You apply this.
No.
I don't know why this is. Okay, so now we got a chart here. So let me expand this chart. So if you look at this green line is called line of average. And this red line is a line of a data points. If I make the prediction, my average is a prediction, and if demand is 20, so here what happened? There will be a overstock. Suppose if I make a prediction, what what will happen if predictions go wrong? So if the demand is 20, I make a prediction of 28. So what will happen? Overstock, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
What will happen if the demand is 30 and the prediction is 28? Less stock or stock out. Third scenario, if the demand is 25 and the prediction is 28, again this is overstock, higher inventory. Fourth case, again is overstock. Fifth case, it is lesser stock. Again, in the sixth case, it is overstock because the demand is 32 and our prediction is 28. Sixth case again overstock. Seventh case again overstock. Any questions here? So now question, another question comes: what will happen if it is overstock and if it is less stock? How it's going to impact the financial outcome? And what is financial outcome? The cost savings and the revenue, right? So if you look at here, the overstock, what will happen if you have overstock, Prashant? If you build a overstock in your company, how is going to impact your financial outcome? Any answers, please? Poonam? Poonam, if there is a overstock,
Inventory carrying cost will increase.
Okay, so here we will lose the spend leakage, right? This is also spend leakage. So here what happens is our revenue overspend. The scenario of overspend. So what is the second scenario? Less stock and stock out. If there is a stock out and less stock, what will happen? Any answers? If there is a less stock and stock out, how it will impact the financial outcome? Revenue loss.
Production loss.
Yes, production loss means revenue loss. Means
Hmm. Yeah.
will not be able to sell the products at the right time. Okay. So if you said if it's overstock, it's overspend. That is also a spend leakage. And if it is less stock and stock out, that is also a revenue leakage. I'll say revenue. I will not say
R4 means less stock, right?
which one.
R4.
R4 is overstock, right? Because our prediction is 28.375 and our demand was 29. So this is less stock. Yes, sorry, sorry. Sorry. Great, great.
And we said R5 overstock.
R5 is overstock, yes. And then similarly, R32. 32 is again this is overstock. Right? 32 and prediction is 28. This is less stock. Less stock. Less stock. Great. So, so this is a way you can find how the spend leakage is happening, how the money leakage is happening, and how much it is happening, how much money leakage has happened. Okay. So let's assume that per unit cost is 2 rupees. Let's say 100 rupees. Okay. So absolute value of 100 into. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to multiply the per unit cost and how many this is called how many units of difference. Okay. How many units of difference? How many units are different? So the demand was 20, but the prediction was 28. So we actually we bought we bought 8 items, 8.37 items extra. So we spent 837 rupees extra overspend. Okay. So let's see count if the formula called count if range is this and condition is overstock. Oh, sorry, some of why it's not working. So what I will do is we'll plus all the overstock, that is 837.5 plus 337.5 plus 437.5. So this is overstock. So whenever we have overstock, we call it overspending. So our total overspending was 1612.5, so 1612 rupees. Okay. Next scenario is less stock. That is called revenue leakage. So the scenarios wherever we had revenue leakage is first 162.5 plus 362.5 plus 862.5 plus 162.5. Okay. So
62.5.
yeah. So this is coming around. Okay. This is 10. Okay. Four scenarios. So this is coming around 101,000. One. Okay. I missed anything? Let's do once again.
R4, R4.
R4, right? So this is G6 plus G8 plus G9 plus G10. So this also coming 101. It's very strange. They're coming very same. Okay. So 1612.5. Okay. So what is total loss? Total revenue loss. Total impact. Total financial impact. Financial loss. I'll say this is this plus this. That's coming around 3,225 rupees. See, just because of a poor prediction, just because of a poor prediction, what is the spending? What is the overspending and what is the revenue leakage? So whenever you go to consulting assignment or when you want to actually understand how much loss is occurring in your organization, first see what is the forecasting done. What is the forecasting being done? And put that forecasting numbers. Then measure the actual demand. Take the actual demand and forecast. Okay, let me write all those things for you guys. How to find the spend leakage? Okay, take the forecasted values, historical forecasted values. Second, take the current actual demand. Third, subtract the historical and the actual demand. Okay. Then multiply the error between actual and with historical difference with the unit price of the product or part or service. Sum the total overspend scenarios. Sum the total revenue scenario. Okay. Okay. So any doubts on this? Do we have any doubts? Any questions? So can you connect this particular session with your real-time working, Poonam? Have you got a chance to do the prediction ever? And if you have done the prediction, and
No,
how
I didn't get a chance.
okay. Okay. No, no, let's do the same thing on the second case. Second demand 2. So I'll find the average that's coming around 51.125. I'll put that average over here as a prediction. I'll log this cell. And I'll put this again the same way that I put this average on the second data. Now let's see the variance up and downs. If you look at up and downs here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 5 data points which are very close to average. But there are 3 data points, they are very far from the average. If you look at if you can find my cursor, so the second point, third point, fourth point, and fifth point, they're very close to average. But the first point and the seventh point and the eighth point, they're very far from the average, right? So just because of the number 140 and 120, my entire average is going wrong. So we will tackle this in a first of doing this after doing the same thing what we did for the demand one. We'll tackle this data variation or the data up and downs. Okay, and by tackling this up and down, we have to what tackling means we have to reduce the variations. Okay, so once we reduce the variations, we will improve the prediction. The entire challenge is the variation, and in statistical language, the variation is also called noise. Noise means we're not getting the clear picture. There's a lot of noise. You want to hear something, but because of the noise, we are not able to hear a particular word if somebody is speaking to you, or for a particular person who is speaking to you, because of, because of the noise around the people, you're not able to hear a particular word, particular voice of a person. So here, data also has a language. So when the data is speaking to you and you're not able to understand that language, means the data has a lot of noise, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of up and downs. So if data has uncertainty, up and downs, that is also called data has a lot of noise. We are not getting the clear signal from the data. Okay, so we'll work on that before I will show the same thing what we have done on the first case. So what I have to do? For the first thing, what I have to do? I have to find the errors, or prediction error, or forecasting error. So how I'll do that? I'll subtract the number by the average. Okay. Now, what I will do? I'll find the per unit. I'll put the per unit cost, which is same as 100 rupees. Sorry, this 100 rupees. I'll multiply the error and per unit cost, which is equivalent to 100 into 131.1. We'll just drag this down. Okay. Now we know that if the scenario is overstock or less stock, we'll find the first. So guys, let me please tell me which is overstock and which is less stock scenario, one by one.
Overstock first.
First is overstock, and okay, good. And second,
Yes.
why? Yes,
Demand is
correct.
demand is 64, no?
Yeah. Third, Third,
Overstock.
keep telling, I'll add it, no? Just keep telling. Fourth,
Overstock.
overstock, okay.
Overstock.
Okay, next.
Less.
Okay, next.
No stocks.
Overstock. Okay, next.
Less.
What is the financial outcome? This is spend leakage, or you have the spend leakage or revenue leakage. You have to tell me two scenarios.
Spend leakage.
Overstock is spend,
Spend leakage.
spend leakage.
Less stock is revenue leakage. Spend.
Okay. So now we have to find how much spend leakage and how much revenue leakage happens. So what is the revenue? What is spend leakage here? Equal to this is all absolute value. Okay. I'll put there only absolute value. 5. So why I'm putting absolute value there? Absolute spend leakage. So this plus this plus this plus this. Okay. 9050.
One you have missed one.
1, 2,
You have missed one.
1 I missed. Okay. 03, 05, 03, 05, 06 and 07 I missed. 07 plus 09. Right? Now we have 5. Now revenue leakage how much? This plus this plus this. So you're getting almost same. There's a reason behind this. Why it's same? I'll tell you.
Okay.
Total. So we'll not say, okay, this was spend leakage without revenue leakage. Okay. Now we'll see the predictions by predictions impact. If Poonam, in the first case, made a prediction of how much? 25. Okay. And second case, Poonam made prediction of 127. So what would have been the impact? We'll come there. Okay? Now, so you guys understood, right? How to find the spend leakage, how to find the revenue leakage by by understanding, by measuring or comparing the demand with the prediction. Same thing will be applied in the actuals and the forecasting. Forecasting is a historical value. Actual is the actual demand. Okay. You compare the actual and forecasting values and see the errors. And when you multiply, if you unit cost, you multiply not the number and the not the unit cost and the error, but you multiply the absolute value of error. Absolute value of error. So what happens is there is nothing called negative 10 rupees and nothing called negative 20 rupees. 10 rupees is 10 rupees. It's not negative 10 rupees. right? Currency is always positive. So when I'm measuring the currency, so I am making it absolute. Absolute will convert negative into positive, and it will keep positive as positive. It will not make positive as negative. Keep positive as positive, and convert negative into positive. So currency is always positive. Of course, spending, when we do the spending, it is negative. No, we are actually reducing the money from the books, and when we are earning, we are earning the money. So we are adding the money in the books. So that is a different aspect. So here, if you so now we have to find. Now the next question is we have to find a right number, a right prediction, a right demand, okay, which will minimize the scenario, which will minimize this overspending and minimize the revenue leakage. Okay, so this is the first case. Only we have seen only the first case where we did a prediction and prediction was an average number. By using an average number, we did the we compared how much overspending could happen, how much revenue leakage can happen. Okay. So there are various techniques. There are various techniques to reduce the variation or the up and downs. Hmm? So I'm going to use one technique called logarithmic. Logarithmic. Okay. So I'll convert this number into logs. Log 10. What is this number on the log level, on the log base, log? Okay. And when I draw this graph after converting this number into logs, okay, this is log to the base 10. This is log to the base 10. Okay. I'm converting this number into log to the base 10. Now let me draw this graph now. So while drawing the graph, I'll take the previous values and the new transformed values. Let me do one thing. I'll draw two different graphs. This is a log transformed value, and this is a value which is not transformed. Okay. So what we are saying is, let me take the average of the transformed value. Same thing. What I did before, I'm doing it again. Only thing what I did is I transformed it to reduce the variations. I am going to insert the transformed average value inside the transformed data set. I'll do the same thing here also. The untransformed value also I'll put the average. I think we should take it from there. So I'm just copying and pasting. This is data. This graph is I have taken from the previous session or previous sheet where we have done all these things. If you look at what is the change between these two graphs, what is the change between these two graphs? Two graphs. Are we seeing any changes? Prashant Poonam, can you just come comment? Are we seeing any changes? So what are those changes, Prashant? Poonam, any comments from your side? Poonam?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you see any changes in the graphs before transformation or after transformation? Okay. So we had the values. We did transformation by doing a logarithmics, log to the base 10. So
Yes.
the first graph is of log transform value. Second graph is
Mm.
where there is no transformation. We just took the data as it is. So between these two graphs, what is it? What is the difference you are seeing? This is a very important session because we will learn about how to transform the data in such a way that where we can reduce the up and downs, right? So we are trying to reduce the up and downs so that we can make right predictions, and through these right predictions, we'll reduce the overspending, means our revenue spend leakage, and the revenue leakage. So this is very important part of the class. So just if you can put the comments, and I will understand that whether if I have to tell more something more to explain you. So that's why I'm asking this question. Are you able to differentiate the two graphs?
In untransformed value,
Yeah.
blue line means predicted value, right?
Which one?
Blue lines.
Yeah, blue lines are the actual data, and red line is the
Actual
average.
data.
And red line is the average.
Okay. In untransformed value, the red line means average.
Yeah, red line is the average. Is red line is representing the average of the.
Actual data is down than average in untransformed value graph.
It's not always down. There are some points that are up also, right? There are 2 points which are
No,
up, and
in between.
yeah, 2 points are up, and that's all points down. And this same with
Mm.
the log transform value also. There are 2 points up on top, above the average, and rest say 3 points are average, right? 3 points are above the average, and 2 points are
Mm.
below the average.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more difference you see? Great. Good, very good observation. Okay, so let me continue here. See only the what happened after log transformation is the 3 points. If you look at number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6, and especially number 3, number 4, number 5, they were little down, but in the log transform value, they're very close to each other, close to the average line. Number 3, number 4, number 5, they're just very close to the average line. But in the untransformed graph, number 3, number 4, number 5 is not very close to the average line. So log transformation has actually helped us or have helped us to take the number 3, number 4 data points closer to the average. But if you look at the sixth point, sixth point was very close to the average in the untransformed graph. But in the log transformed, sixth point has gone little above. Even if you look at the first data point in the untransformed, it is quite far. But in this case, in the log transformed, this has moved closer to the average. Hello?
Yeah, right.
If you look at the eighth data point in the untransformed graph, it is very far from the average. The distance is very far. But if you look at the log transformed value, the distance has reduced significantly. If you look at the 8 data point, see the distance of the 8 data point from the average, it has reduced significantly. But if you look at the 8 data point in the untransformed graph, the distance is very significant.
Hmm.
Am I right? So
Yes.
overall if you see, the distance has minimized, the error has reduced, the error has reduced. Okay, so let's go to the data point now. Are you agree with this point that the distance has reduced, the error has reduced?
Yeah.
Great. Now let's take the average. Average what is 1.6005, right? This is the average of data point. This is an average of this. Just a minute, guys. I will just have a water and just be on the line. I'll just have a water and come back.
Okay.
So this is the first method. First method of reducing the error variation. Now I'll go to second method. So in this graph, if you look at the demand 2, if I remove 140, if I remove 140, are you there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So see, there are some terms called outliers. They call outliers. Suppose in a class the people are there are 20 people, 19 people have scored very close to 45 out of 100, and one person has scored 99. Hmm? So what happens is, if you take the average of the class will come around 65%. Okay, so let me give an example. Out of 100, uh, let me say five students are there. So what is the average of the class? What is the average score of the class? It's coming around 52.6. So we are saying the average class has performed at an average of 52.6. But if you look at, there are two guys who are less than 30, less than 40. There are two guys who are less than 50. But still, the average of the class is 52.6. Right? This is not representing the class average. But if I remove the number 99 and find the average score of the class is 41. And this looks very close to the class performance. Right? This looks very close to the class performance. So just because of the one guy, the class performance has increased to a higher level. If I remove this person, so it come to 41. Okay. So just because of one higher value, the average is actually increasing. Now second scenario. So what is the chances that my next second question is, what are the chances that a guy that a student will score more than 60 in that class in the next exam? Tell me, what are the chances that a student will score more than 60 in that class in the next exam? Can you predict it? Yes, we can predict it. So there are total number of students. How many?
Five.
Five. Okay, great. So how many students have scored more than 60? बोलो कितने कितने स्टूडेंट स्कोर किए हैं?
One.
Okay. So what is the chances of scoring? What is chances of student scoring more than 60 marks? That is only 1 by 5. That is 1 by 5. There's only one student who has scored more than 60. That is, person has scored 99. Out of 5 students, only one has scored more than 60. 20% chance. So what is the probability? What is the chance of students scoring less than 60 marks? Can somebody tell this?
4 by 5.
4 by 5, that is equal to 80.8.
Hmm.
0.2 plus 0.8 is 1. So if so, if I remove an outlier, what is the impact? The impact is very less, or 20% chance. If I want to understand the score performance score, if I remove 99, I understand what should be the performance of the class. It's 41, 41. It's coming very quite close to each number, and I can really judge the class. I can really judge. Okay, next time this class performance will be close to 41. If I remove one outlier, the impact is very less, right? 20%, and here is next is 80%. So I can afford to remove an outlier. Am I right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So what I will do here is I'll remove the outlier and see the performance. So let me redo it. I'll lock this number. This is second scenario. Okay, second transformation method. I'll just do. I'll just take this number and calculate the average. Okay. Now let's find the scenario. Let's draw this graph. I'll draw the same graph again. So if you look at what we have been able to achieve, are you there? Are you guys there? Is there? What role does the mic? Hmm? నాకు భయం వేస్తుందంటే దానికి ఒక్క పర్సన్ వల్ల ముద్దు పెడుతుంది కదా లిఫ్ట్ తీసి పెడుతుంది కదా Hello. 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 Okay, you guys can hear, right? Okay. Sorry, there is a lot of issues on the internet. Okay, great. See, what we have done is we have removed that 140, and the chances of having a demand of 140 is very less. Okay, if you look at if all the demand, if you look at the data and the data on the above, see nothing is more than 100. Just only one time we got 140. Just all the cases is less than 100. Okay, if I remove one outlier, and which is a rare occurrence, outlier is called rare occurrence. Okay, so if you have a rare occurrence of some event or some demand, and that now that will not repeat again, so we can actually remove that because that is a rare occurrence. Okay, so outlier is a rare occurrence. Extreme value, yes. Okay, so a value which is an extreme value, but it's a rare occurrence, will not happen again and again. Okay, so similarly there is one more called inlier, is a lowest value, but also again it's a rare occurrence. So when we look at the data and if we are seeing a lot of up and downs, is we have to also understand that is that particular up and down is happening because of a rare occurrence. Okay, when any particular value is there, which will happen only once in a blue moon. Suppose suddenly in a rainy season, sales of ice cream, okay, will be very less because the rainy season people don't eat ice cream on rainy season. Okay, but if you look at the weather pattern during rainy season, someday there will be sudden bright sun will come, and that will be very hot. So and that bright sun on the bright sun day will continue for 3 or 4 days. So during those 3 or 4 days, the demand of ice cream will go up, and that is on the rainy season. Okay, that will not happen all the time. So why should I build a stock? Why should I build a stock for the rainy season, of in rainy season for a hot Sunday? Because I know that sales is very low. Every day, I will not be able to sell ice cream. Every day, people are not going to come to my shop to buy the ice cream. Only a specific hot Sunday, we would be able to sell the ice cream. So for that, I should not stock ice cream every day, right? So that is called outlier. A hot Sunday in a rainy season is an outlier. So those days, people will come and will ask for the ice cream in our shop. They would like to buy the ice cream in our shop. For other days, there will be not such a sale. So if you are stocking a very high number of or high volume of ice cream, considering that there will be a hot Sunday, hot Sunday, the very next day, then you will not be able to sell, and those will lie in your freezer and freezer for a long period of time. Okay, so those are called outliers. So we need to also understand there is inlier. Suppose the other scenario, um, you assume that on a given day the sale will be very very less. Sale will be very less. So what is in okay? Let me tell you one thing. Okay, so how to define inlier in a practical way? Are you getting a guys? Are you getting a point, right? What is outlier? How we actually convert the outlier from the practical business case study into a number. Poonam, are you there? Hello, Poonam, are you there? Okay, okay. So we have removed the outlier. Now let's see the inlier here. So this is a case. Suppose if there is Sunday, hot Sunday, and there is ice cream sales. We expect that in hot Sunday the sales of ice cream will be high. But there would be some days where the sales will not be high. Like you will be able to sell ice cream, like you're selling. You would be the sale of ice cream on Sunday will be hot Sunday will be equivalent to a sale of ice cream like a rainy day. Okay? So we assume that whenever there is a hot Sunday, there will be a spike in the sale of ice cream. That's what we assume. But there will be some days where the sales will not be high on the hot Sunday. People will not buy the ice cream. So when the and you actually assume when we assume the sale will be high, but the sale was not high and the sale was very less, that is called inlier. Suppose we expect Albert Einstein to score 100 out of 100 in mathematics, but Albert Einstein scores only 5 out of 100. Albert Einstein scores 5 out of 100. That's inlier. Suppose we assume that a poor guy like Pappu. Pappu would like to. We assume that Pappu will score 5 out of 100, but Pappu scores 100 or 99 out of 100. That's an outlier. So what we assumed, okay, as per our assumption, things doesn't go right. So we can, if it is high, if it goes lower than the expectations, that's called inlier. If it goes higher than the expectation, that's called outlier. And if everything is in a same pattern, same trend, same pattern, that's what we have to follow, and that's what, based upon those things only, we have to do the predictions. Okay, so if you look at here, for me 10 is the inlier. Okay, 10 is the inlier, and the 140 was the outlier. Okay, 10 is the inlier and 140 is the outlier. If I remove 10 also, so now look at the graph. Now look at the graph. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost we are close. Almost we are close now. We have removed the 10. We have removed the 140. Okay. So we are going to have a very good prediction now. 43. If I see, if I use 43, what is the impact on the overspending, and what is the impact on the, sorry, I will say revenue leakage and spend leakage. Let's see them. So what is the first case? 20 and 43. This is called, we have, if the demand is 20 and we predicted 43, so that is overstock. Second is less stock. Third is overstock. Fourth is less stock. Third is, then there is overstock. Then again this is less stock. So let's find total. Total overstock. 236 plus less stock. So let's compare the values. So if you look at here, okay, so let's look at here. So here, what was the loss? What was the spend leakage? 10,262. 10,262. And what is here now? 3,000. 150. But we have to compare again. We have to remove the outliers. Okay? We'll remove the outliers and see how much outlier inlier here. 140 I have done, and 10 I have removed from here. So now we see if I remove 54 and 10, my prediction, my spend leakage is 7,650. 7,650. And if I use this average, is 3,150. There is a huge savings. There is a, this overstock is called overspending, and less stock is called revenue leakage. Okay, so just see, we have saved almost a lot of money here, 3,150, and here it is 7,650. So almost how much saving? 7,650 minus 3,150, 4,500. So this is 4,500 divided by 7,650. That is called 58% savings. 59% savings, just because we have adopted a different approach. Now, there's one more thing. Now we have two methods we have seen, right? Second transformation and first transformation. So in the first transformation, we did what we did. We did the logarithmics. Okay. Oh, sorry. So we have to find the. We have to find the average of the total logarithmic value. We found it. So what is the anti-log? What is the actual prediction we have to do? Suppose if I have a this 1.600 is not the actual prediction. The anti-log means 10 to the power 10 to the power this anti-log value is the actual prediction. So this is transformed average prediction. Okay. The transformed average prediction is what? 39.864. If I remove the anti-log, if I remove 140 and 10, I'm applying the second transformation method in the first. I'm mixing 2 and 1 both now. Let me do separately instead of doing it. Now this is third method of transformation. Clubbing first and second. So what I will do is I will remove 140 which is outlier. Okay. So I'm going to club the first method and second method together. So what I'm doing is I am in the second method I am applying on the second method But what we did is we removed the outliers and the inliers. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on the data here. So I'm going to remove the outlier. I'm going to remove the inlier. Okay, so 140 is the outlier. We already know that. Okay, and 10 is the inlier. We have removed it. Now do the same thing here also. We'll do the same thing here also. We'll remove the same thing here also. Okay. Now we'll find the average of our anti logs. Okay. That's coming here. Now I want to, because 1.609 is a transformed value. Now I have to go back again to find the demand value. Okay. The demand value is this. I'll say this is a transformed average. Now I'll find the demand from the value, transformed average. Okay, so how to find demand? We have to do anti-log. Okay, that is anti-log. So anti-log is simply just take the number 10 to the power 10 to the power this value. That's coming around 40. So this is an average. This is the average 40. So let me put 40 as an average now. This number and see how much loss we. Let's find the average. Sorry, uh, gap 20 minus 40 into 100. I'm directly doing it, right? Okay. So let's do the calculations of overspending. And this is how much? The first case is 20 is a demand and we predicted 40. So this is a overstock. So overstock means overspending. Second scenario, we demand was 30, we predicted 40. Again, this is a overstock. Third case, 25. We predicted 25, which actually demand was 25, we predicted 40. This is also an case of overstock. Fourth case is also no, yeah, demand two. Sorry. S3 minus. Let's go to again. Let's start again. 20 is the demand. Prediction is 40. So this is overstock and overspending. 64 is the demand and prediction is this is not overstock. 39 this is a overstock. 45 and 40, right? This is not overstock. 39 and 40 this is overstock. So this is, see, the overspending is now 2,414. What is revenue leakage now? So the first case 30 and 40. Yes, this is revenue leakage. And 45 this is revenue leakage. And 52 and 40 this is revenue leakage. Okay. So let's compare the previous and this. So the first case is spend leakage is 765. Let's write down all those things. Let's summarize this. We'll do summarize it. Without transformation. Okay. First method of transformation. second method of transformation, and third method of transformation. So I have three methods. Okay? So I'm going to find the overspending, spend leakage in all the three cases. The first case it was how much? 7,650. Second case how much? It was why did we do that? I think we have to calculate this. So second method we have done that. That is 3150. Third method we have done that. That is 214. Okay. Second method is still left. So we have removed also. Now if you look at here, the third method which is clubbing of first and second, we got the lowest overspending. So we have reduced heavily. The overspending has reduced heavily. If you look at here, in this case it was uh, 76 minus 3150 divided by 7650. 58% in the first case. Second case, we have again going to do the same thing. This minus the third method divided by the actual 68%. The third method is giving us 68% improvement. Second method is giving us 59% improvement as compared to the first method. This is the objective. This is an objective. This is what we are trying to actually develop. Okay. Okay. So this is what the objective, and this is what you have to do. So what you have to do first, you have to take a data. Okay, take a data, then draw a graph, draw the plot. I'll just write down all the methods. First, collect the data. Collect the actual demand and forecast data. ठीक है, ये करना पड़ेगा. Second, you have to draw the plot, draw the line plot, line chart. Third, visualize the outliers and the inliers. Fourth, find the occurrences. Fourth, find the average. Without the outliers and inliers, and with outliers and inliers. See the difference. Mark the difference. Mark the difference. And in case the difference is high, then choose the average without without outlier. Calculate the overspend and revenue leakage by finding the errors and multiplying the errors by unit value of the product or part. Now 7. Transform the data using log 10. Okay. 8. Calculate again same thing. 9. Okay. Convert into anti-log. Convert the averages into anti-log. Then 10. Then we find the mark the difference. Then again same thing. 12. Transform this is the way we have to calculate. Okay. If you choose more and more transformation method, so every time you have to do the calculations, and finally at the end of the project, you need to calculate the summary and note the improvements generated out of the transformations. Okay, so this is a summary of the class. So this is how we actually calculate the spend leakage after doing the forecasting. Okay, great. So Poonam is all clear. Okay. Prashant is all clear. Okay, great. Okay. So if you have any questions, you may ask me. Okay, seems like there's no questions. Okay, guys. So we'll end our class here today. Thank you very much for your participation. I hope I have tried to clear the way we have to calculate the spend leakage or the revenue leakage on the forecasting side. Okay. So how we forecast? Forecasting is a very important topic. So you need to do the forecasting very accurately. If the forecasting is having a very high error, so chances of spend leakage and revenue leakage will also be very high. Okay. So in the next class, we also will study about standard deviations, reorder point calculations, and all those things we'll study. Okay. So I'm ending the session here, and I will send the recordings and the documents through the email. Right? Okay. Okay. Thanks, Poonam, Prashant, for the participation.